This trial, this tribulation, when the doctor says no, Jesus says yes. How many of you know that he's still a miracle worker? He can still heal broken limbs. He can still lift the heavy heart. He can still mend the broken in spirit. He is the same God today, yesterday, and forever. So I don't care what's going on. You can make it.
Yes, you can.
Look at your neighbor, tell your neighbor, you can make it. I don't care what's going on. This trial, you can make it. I don't really have. Go ahead on and praise him. Come on, let's give God some praise right there. If you know that you can make it. If you know that you can make it. If you believe that you can make it. Just call on the name of Jesus. My topic this morning is call on the Lord. I don't really have anything written down, but I do have some scripture. So those of you that have your Bibles, turn with me to Psalms 23. And this is the Psalm of David. David said, his thing, he knew that God was a caring shepherd and a dependable guide. And most of us that have been through some trials and some tribulations, that is God's way of maturing you and growing you up. So we have to get to the point in life. I know that we have all been to the point in our life where we have complained about this and complained about that and complained about things that were going on in our life. Some things we did not understand. But when you grow up in the Lord and when you mature in the Lord, you know that everything that happens in your life is a stepping stone to another level. A stepping stone up the mountain, because we are Christians that are climbing up the mountain. We're not going down the mountain. So David said that the Lord is my shepherd and I shall not want. Now, we didn't know what that meant when we were children. That was just a Bible verse that we said over our food. But when you say that the Lord is your shepherd and you shall not want, then that scripture is telling you that you don't have to want for anything. So when you don't want for anything, it's not predicated on how good your job is or how much money you have in the bank or even how much money you don't have. When you say that the Lord is your shepherd, then that means that you believe him for everything. That means that you believe him to have in your possession what money cannot buy. Sometimes people look at you, they know where you live, they know where you come from, and they think they know what kind of money you have. And they look at your possessions and they wonder how in the world are you ending up with the things that you have. It is because you literally take the Lord as your shepherd and you are walking in, I can have whatever I want. The next scripture says, he maketh me to lie down in green pastures, and he leadeth me besides the still waters. Well, when you look at a green pasture, it is something that is beautiful. It is something that is inviting. It is something that you and the rich want to be able to take part of. So the green pasture is that beautiful thing, that pleasant thing that God provides for you. And then it says that he leadeth me besides the still water. Well, I don't care what's going on. You're going to have your trials. You're going to have your tribulations. You're going to have your ups and you're going to have your downs. But if you lean and depend on the Lord, if you call on the Lord, I don't care what's going on, he will give you that stillness that the water has. Anybody ever been to the water? Ever been to the ocean when you see the waves and they're moving and they're coming towards you? That's not a still water. But have you ever seen the peace of the water? That is what God can provide in your life when things are going on. The Bible goes on to say that he restoreth my soul. Something that is restored, it is repaired. It is done over again. And so that means that at one time your soul was broken. If God had to restore your soul, he leadeth me in the path of righteousness for his name's sake. When you say in your mind and in your spirit, with your attitude and all your being, that the Lord is your shepherd, that means that he is your guide. That means that you depend on him. That means that you trust him for everything. Then then you can say, he leadeth me in the path of righteousness for his name's sake. Why? Because you depend on him for everything. Yea, though I walk through the valley and the shadow of death. Yes, there's going to be some times when you're walking in the valley. What is that valley? That valley is that depressed place. That valley is that place of Lodebar. That valley is that place where you feel alone and you feel rejected and you feel misunderstood and you feel thrown away. Yea, though I walk through the valley of the shadow of death, sometime in the valley you feel like death is there. Sometime in the valley you are sick in your mind and you're sick in your spirit and you're sick in your body. You may be sick in your relationship. Your children may make you sick. Whatever making you sick and has you in the valley, sometimes death comes. The shadow of death is there because if you're in Lodebar, you feel like you're dying. You feel like there's no other place to go. But David went on to say, I will fear no evil, for thou art with me. So when you're calling on the Lord, you have to know that the Lord is with you. Thy rod and thy staff, they comfort me. So thou preparest a table before me in the presence of my enemies, because I called on the Lord, because I chose him to be my shepherd, because he gave me a choice. He told me that you know, he's not a forceful God, and he has us in a place where we can choose to serve him or we can choose to serve the devil. It's your choice. And I don't blame God. I wouldn't want to force somebody to be with me, to love me, to serve me. So he gave us that choice. But in giving us that choice, I chose him to be my daddy. So thou preparest a table before me in the presence of my enemies. My enemies are many. My enemies are all around. But because I chose him and I followed the path of righteousness, and even when I was in the valley and the shadow of death was all around me, I understood because of who I was serving that I didn't have to fear no evil. And I understood that God was going to reward me for my righteousness, and he was going to reward me for my commitment and my loyalty. So he prepares a table before me in the presence of my enemy. He blessed me in my enemy's face. When my enemy was planning and they were plotting my demise, he prepares a table right in their face. And then he anointed my head with his oil, and my cup runneth over. When my cup runneth over, my blessings just kept coming. The favor of God just wrapped me up, and it just took over my life. And then the Bible goes on to say that surely goodness and mercy shall follow me all the days of my life. Not some of the days, but all of the days. And I know that I'm not going to live forever, because none of us are here to stay. The Bible tells us that we are strangers in this land. So since we're just visiting, goodness and mercy is going to follow me to my grave. I'm going to have a good life while I'm yet on earth. Some people say that this is hell. Well, this ain't my hell. I'm enjoying life. Why? Because I've embraced life. I understand that the good is coming. I understand that the bad is coming. I understand that we're going to have some good times and some bad times. And I understand that you're going to have some things that happen that you don't expect to happen in life. Yes, but if I stick with the Lord, and no matter what's going on, I just call on his name. Yes, we have to call on the Lord and let the world know that because I'm holy and because I'm righteous and because I've made up my mind. If I have to live alone, if I have to walk alone, if I have to go all by myself, well, surely goodness and mercy shall follow me all the days of my life. I've lived this life